Greetings are so important. Let's make sure that Nori greets everybody exactly the same way by establishing a proper greeting method. The greetings are so important because Nori sometimes gets a little bit overstimulated when people are approaching, especially if people she doesn't know. We've had her many places, we've had her meeting so many different people, and she's been doing extraordinarily well. One thing that has been similar between all these greetings has been that we've been in charge of these greetings. We've made sure that Nori hasn't been the one to be able to jump on someone or to basically greet someone. And there's a few rules behind that proper greeting method. Let me go over the rules. Rule number 1 is always be prepared. Always be prepared basically just means making sure that Nori has her leash on her. This is going to happen slightly different inside the house than it does outside the house. Outside, we're going to make sure that she has her leash on. And even if she's on her canny collar, that's okay. To be honest with you, the canny collar does seem to calm her down. It does seem to give you a little bit more control when it comes to these types of greetings. Before, when we were doing the greetings with the backclip harness, there was a lot of tension on her chest, and she was able to then use her momentum to pull towards the person. We don't want that. That's why we want to follow these rules. That's part 1 of always being prepared. And part 2 of always being prepared is we want to make sure we have treats. Usually I do this with a bully stick, but she finds bully sticks extremely rewarding. And so there is such a thing as it being too rewarding to the point where she might feel the need to guard it. We don't want that. We want to make sure that she's able to be motivated to remain in her spot without being so overly stimulated that she feels the need to guard whatever it is she's getting. Usually I'll use bully sticks, but you can use treats for this. For her, I would prefer using treats because then you can keep the rate of reinforcement fairly high as the people approach and make it into a very, very positive thing. Today we're just using these treats here. We're going to use quite a bit of them. We're not just going to use 1 or 2. We're going to use quite a few. Rule number 2 is make sure that the person comes to you instead of you walking over to them. Now, even if I have high value treats and even if I have her leash, if I walk over to you, she can be the first one at that rendezvous, which means that she can choose however she's going to greet you. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we are fully in charge of how this greeting happens. That means inviting the person that's going to be doing the greeting over to where you are. That way you can already establish her position, etc. The other thing about people approaching you is her physical position. Where should she be? She should always be either beside or behind you, never in front. This is going to allow you to advocate for her. And so when people are approaching, you can say, oh, just a second, she's in training. And so we can follow through with this proper greeting. So it's not a surprise for her. So make sure that the person comes to you instead of you going over to them. Now, what's going to make you fail about this, it's not going to be you and it's not going to be her. It's going to be the people approaching because people don't listen. This is why you have to advocate for her. She can't speak. So you must say, hold on a second, she's in training, and follow through, especially if there's kids around. At the moment, because she's not very comfortable with children, I wouldn't do this with kids. I would just do this with people that you know, friends, family, etc. And once she gets more comfortable in the presence of children, then we can start to apply the proper greeting in that context. So I'm going to show you an example of that right now. Just pretend we're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden a child comes up to you and says,
"Oh my god, your dog is so cute. Can I pet it?"
yes, just a second, we're in training. Again, advocate. You notice I back up and I put her beside me. Then I say, sit. Yes, good girl. Here I can actually ask her to down as well, because down is a very good position and calm position. And then I can start putting treats in between her paws. Now I'm stepping on the leash just enough for her to sit or lay down. Or if she tries to jump right now, it'll be a self-correction. I'm gonna invite you over. Come on over and say hi. Go ahead. Go ahead and pet her. Good girl. Good girl. Make sure to talk to her the whole time. Good girl. Yes, good girl. And do me a favor and just tug on her collar or her harness. Good girl. Good girl. Thank you so much. Okay. Good girl, Nori. Sit. Yes, good girl. A lot happened in those few seconds. She was calm, she was relaxed, all while a child with a lot of energy was petting her, was giving her attention. And if you noticed, she was looking up at me the whole time because I'm the source of good things that is coming to her. She's very smart, she learns very well by association, and she's taken to this greeting very, very well. Make sure to be consistent with this. This greeting should happen between you guys the same way it should happen between a stranger on the street. Now keep in mind, this is going to happen slightly different inside the house than it is outside the house. When we're doing this inside the house, we're gonna use that go to your bed or place exercise to ensure that she's able to maintain a spot while this greeting happens. You shouldn't have to hold on to her leash, pull her, or anything. You should simply ask her to go to her bed, down, and stay while the person approaches her and greets her from her bed as you're feeding her treats, just like I was doing now. Anyway, she's doing really well. Be consistent, and you're gonna see huge progress. Good girl.